So before we start, they're setting up this new way of presenting the Dharma through the center. I think this is Nina's idea to make it more accessible to everybody. And um, one person wrote in the comments that they just can't visualize. It's just impossible for them to visualize, and that no one's ever taught them how to visualize. So I also wanted to add to that is two things. First of all, I didn't really realize I wasn't really visualizing properly until I started teaching at Kopan and leading meditations there. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, through the process of having to explain it to others, then I myself started to become better at it. So all I had to say there was that it takes practice like anything else, like painting, like cooking. And then the other thing is some people just aren't naturally attuned to visualizing. So in the meditations we're doing here, I try and put a little bit of everything in there. We have this idea of visualization, analysis, and concentration. So you'll see that through most of the meditations that we do, there's a little bit of element of each one of those. And of course, we have the mantra, um, the mantra recitation. So if you are one of those people that finds visualization difficult, don't worry. There's two things, practice, and then also the other thing, you know, I find analytical meditation difficult when I'm doing it myself because my mind just goes off, starts to wander around. And I guess I find the easiest form of meditation is concentration, focusing on the breath. But that I've had more training in that. I've had a lot of training in that. So um, when I first started, when I was younger, so maybe it stuck more. So all I wanted to say is take heart for those people that find visualization a little bit more tricky than others. Anyway, I just wanted to add that, and I hope that was helpful. And let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Feet flat on the floor if you're not cross-legged and sitting in regular meditation posture. And your shoulders aligned with your hips, ears with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light that stretch from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine you're lengthening your spine, but without necessarily, throwing your rib cage forward. Try and keep it all in line. And, as we get older, we have different creative things going on in our spine. So it's not always easy. But the idea is to imagine your spine. It's long and spacious. And then go to the crown of the head and release any tension in your scalp. So relax the forehead and the eyes and the nose and the cheeks, the area around the mouth, back of the tongue. Relax the temples and the ears, the inner ear, the back of the head. And allow the shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and your chest and your belly and all of your limbs. And be aware of the sensations of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And then just notice there may be sounds in your environment, inside your home, outside your home, in the room you're in. So just allow all of those sounds to be there and try not to follow with the mind. And try and notice the point at which your mind gets distracted. And then now just check in with yourself this evening, this morning. I know for Shrey it's like 6 a.m. or something. So just check in and see how you are. Some of you getting maybe pretty close to going to bed. Try and put some space in between your thoughts so you don't feel so crowded. And then, be aware of all the people in our life, our loved ones. We did an extensive version of this morning. Our strangers and the ones we don't like, remembering they're all equal. They don't want to suffer, they want to be happy, and they have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. That includes everyone, our friends, our enemies, our strangers, and ourselves. So we'll do this practice for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And Lu, because I can see you here, for Lu, for, happy, perfect, healthy treatment and successful treatment. Because Lu does so much benefit, so it's very good for Lu to live a long life. So I just heard we're getting all these tsunami warnings here in the Bay Area because there's been an earthquake in Russia, quite a big one on the east coast of Russia. So Hawaii is under tsunami watch right now. And they're thinking about 1 o'clock this morning. I think that was right. There may be some tsunami activity, the wave may be coming to the Bay Area and coming to inland. So we'll just see what happens. But for all the people who've been affected by this earthquake and who may be affected by the tsunami, so just strong prayers for them. And may it not be as strong as they're predicting. But what's amazing is that they can actually now predict. They've already measured the speed of it, the waves from the waves, the energy waves from the earthquake, and they've been able to measure the speed and say exactly when the tsunami is going to hit where. So I find that extraordinary. But anyway, so think about all those folks who may be involved in this. So as I said, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So you sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And so think of specific actions of your body and your speech, and then just sort of regret all of them. So some you may not be able to remember. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma. So we create, we experience everything due to past actions. So having harmed others, maybe necessarily we're going to experience suffering in the future. So we don't really want any more of that. We know what that's like. So it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think like this. We regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then we think, well, what can I do about it? Well, where can I turn? And so here we come to this power of reliance. And so we've already decided we need help. So now we're looking to Buddha Vajrasattva, who we know is a doctor, who has this medicine that we can use to heal ourselves. And so we think like that. We're not looking for higher power or someone to tell us what to do. But we can rely on this Buddha Vajrasattva. So you imagine Vajrasattva sitting above the crown of your head. And so if you're not necessarily a visualizer, and I usually find, I've been finding, both at the YMCA and here, the people who are in the scientific community generally find this one a little bit more difficult than analysis. It's just the way they're wired. And it may not be true for everyone in the scientific community, but I am finding it. I ask people who say, I find visualization difficult. And I'll say, okay, so what's your job? And it's just very unscientific research I've been doing. But you might be an outlier. So it's just enough to feel that Vajrasattva's there. That's where I'm coming to. If you can't necessarily see all this detail or see this white Buddha above the crown of your head, it's just enough to know there's a presence there. And maybe that presence is the mind of your teacher manifesting for your benefit. Has this beautiful radiant face, and his eyes are peaceful. They're full of love and compassion for you and all the people of your life. And his arms crossed at his heart. And of course, the left is always closest to the heart. The left's holding a bell, and this represents wisdom. The right holds a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, infinite wisdom, and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And then we have this little section on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. So we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for all these people of our life and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power remedy, and this is the medicine doing the actual practice of purification. And we start with our body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hom pe, vajrasattva samayam nupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and all that inappropriate speech and talking about other people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkai Meboa Sipokai Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hum Pe, Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Triam Guru Hum Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And it happens as instantaneously as when you walk into a room and you flick on a switch and light comes that fast. So imagine the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind instantly, anger, bitterness, grudges, depression, anxiety, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jita meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. They're totally gone, finished. And now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now we just purify even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, fills you completely. So the nectar flows down, pushes out all the negativity of the body. The nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech And then the light comes and blasts all the negativity of your mind. So this is happening simultaneously, all at once. And in this way, it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Sutukaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mipiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida mebowa, Sutukaya mebowa, Sipokaya mebowa, Anurakta mebowa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida mebowa, Sutukaya mebowa, Sipokaya mebowa, Anurakta mebowa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Mebowa Sutukaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida mebowa, Sutukaya mebowa, Sipokaya mebowa, Anurakta mebowa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida mebowa, Sutukaya mebowa, Sipokaya mebowa, Anurakta mebowa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then the fourth of the four opponent powers is resolve, the power of resolve. So here we just need to decide which is what is resolving means. Just decide. You want to resolve this issue of when you have a resolve, you make a vow to yourself. Actually, resolve seems to have many different meanings, many different subtle variations. So you decide for yourself. First of all, rejoice in your efforts for coming along here. We are now over, we are in our 5th year. Super. Of doing this. So fantastic for all of you people. And then just think about something you'd like to work on, that you have been working on, some generating some awareness, and then work on that. And then think Vajrasattva's delighted and wants to merge with your mind, melts into light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And then Lama Zopa Rinpoche talks about meditating a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, you place your mind there for a moment, even if it's just the word. Maybe you haven't received any teachings on emptiness. But what I can assure you is that things don't appear, things appear differently than they really are. So all phenomena are empty. They don't actually exist from their own side, in and of themselves. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Praise for the wisdom of the five Tathagatas. Homage to you, boon, granter best of Vajras, O summit of existence, homage to you, whose source is emptiness, O Buddha's awakening, homage to you, O passion of the Buddhas, homage to you, desire of the Buddhas, I pay you homage, O love of every Buddha, homage to you, the joy of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage, O smile of every Buddha, homage to you, the laugh of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage, O speech of every Buddha, homage to you, the heart of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. So let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, the swift discovery of our precious Lamas of Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. So I hope you didn't hear, I had an alert come up on my phone, and I suspect it's because I have the alerts for Hawaii coming in, so I suspect it was from that. But I noticed that Brenda is not here, and she's in Kona. Oh, okay. It is. It's about the earthquake in Russia. All right. So let's just make a strong wish for all of those people to be unharmed and to be safe, and for the coming tsunami that it sort of just peters out. But the fact that Brenda isn't here means I suspect she's in Kona, which is at beach level. So I'm hoping that everybody's gone to higher ground. Okay, everyone. Lots of love. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you for hosting. Who was hosting? Shayla? Okay, thank you, Shayla. Thanks, all you beautiful people.